8:34 here on the first shift on a nice sunny Wednesday morning. Skies are bright. We're going to be in the 40s again today. Nice mild weather week. So at least the Kane County Sheriff's Department hasn't had to deal with weather issues this week on the roadways, but there have been some other issues that have cropped up. We're joined now by Kane County Sheriff Ron Hain. It's been a little while since he joined us here on the first shift and on WRMN. Good morning, Sheriff Hain. How are you?
Good morning, Mark. Thanks for having me, and good morning, everybody else out there.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. I know you're on a tight schedule here, but I saw the Kane County Sheriff's Department short little post on Facebook yesterday about the ICE attacks, I guess, or whatever the word is. It's probably attacks, probably not the right word, but the ice age, let's call it, here in the Fox River Valley over the past couple of days, and have you guys had a lot of calls come into the Kane County Sheriff's Department over the last few days because of this?
Yeah, really mostly from media, Mark, and no offense there, but
okay.
we put out a lot of messages just saying, hey, because of the Illinois Trust Act that came about in 2017, state, local law enforcement is prohibited from interacting with ICE, giving them information, and so the only directive I put out to my folks as a reminder when we knew the ICE activities would start ticking up, is that, hey, look, if there is a call for help, if there is a life in danger, if there is an agent in danger, an active incident where they need our support, we will go for life-saving purposes, of course. But unfortunately, the Trust Act says that we can't actively get involved in their investigations.
Yeah, and you just mentioned the word unfortunately. Is that because you kind of feel like maybe it should be something you get involved with?
Well, you know what? Everyone that we've seen them investigate so far have been serious offenders, violent offenders. We had an ICE agent in the courthouse last week who was taking someone into custody after their court date for aggravated domestic battery and strangulation. So that is somebody that I think we would all agree, if they're undocumented, they should face the deportation process. And that's all we've seen so far, is them targeting serious violent offenders, not just doing rampant raids, like we had heard about probably 4 or 5 years ago, where they would go into a restaurant or a factory and just start IDing people. That doesn't seem to be what they're doing. And so when I use the word unfortunately, I wish we could have some communication with them so we understood what they were doing. We understand what their targets are. And if they are going to come into our courthouse in Kane County, we'd love to know about that ahead of time, just so we can facilitate their operations.
When they make an arrest, I mean, this is probably certainly a vague novice question, but when an arrest is made by an ICE agent, where do they go? Where do the people that they arrest, where are they taken to?
That's a wonderful question. I can't talk to them, so I wouldn't know. I would assume that they're taking them to Metropolitan Correctional Facility downtown.
Yeah. Okay. So
the nearest federal facility.
I know that we're in Elgin, so I've seen a lot on social media, and that there were a number of different incidents. I guess yesterday where ICE was in Elgin. I heard about Carpentersville. Have you gotten reports that many of the suburbs that are within the boundaries of Kane County are getting the same thing right now?
Well, so the problem is, yes, we've gotten reports, but so you have local law enforcement, state law enforcement going about their normal activity. We're serving search warrants. We're knocking on doors. We're doing our everyday activity, and everybody thinks as soon as they see a lineup of police cars or unmarked cars and guys in tactical gear that it's ICE. And there was an incident in Elgin yesterday on Silver. I don't know if it's Street or Silver Avenue. I think it's Silver Avenue, where there was a claim that ICE was raiding a house. It was on WGN last night, and somebody was holding a sheriff's shield at the front door.
I saw that.
So, of course, it's in Kane County, and everybody sees the sheriff's sign. Well, it's a Great Lakes Regional Fugitive Task Force with the U.S. Marshal's Office, who were targeting an individual that was wanted for attempted murder. And yes, there is an ICE agent attached to that, but the ICE agent did end up detaining someone that was in the house. But they see the sheriff logo on the front of the shield,
Yep.
and I understand why the public thinks, well, it's got to be Kane County because we're in Kane County. Well, it's a multi-jurisdictional task force. It wasn't us. We were not involved. So, that's a lot of the confusion that's going on out there. So that's why I put up that post on our Facebook page yesterday. Just look, if you have questions about what ICE is doing, here's their phone number. Give them a call because, we don't know what they're doing. We can't communicate with them. And we're going to go about our normal policing activities.
I'm with Elliot Serrano. He's my co-host this hour, and I'm not sure, Elliot, did you have anything for the sheriff this morning?
Sheriff, just real quick, outside of the obvious problems that occur with this particular law, can you explain to the listeners why it even exists in the first place?
The Trust Act?
Yes.
So there is a big push. This is signed by Governor Rauner in 2017. And there was a big push at the time for sanctuary cities, for undocumented people to seek refuge within. And there was a lot of political concern about local law enforcement giving ICE agents information and them doing random sweeps and just grabbing people up. A lot of just illogical political projection that was put out there. And I directly worked with an ICE agent that was attached to my team, my narcotics team, when I was a supervisor of it. And that is certainly not what ICE does. Their goal is to target the most serious offenders. So it was really, in my opinion, having worked directly with ICE before, really a political move just to say, we're going to try and please both sides and level the playing field. And so taking the local law enforcement out of the issue.
Would you think, though, and on the opposite side of the coin, the fact that there is all this confusion regarding who's involved where, is it a help or a hindrance to be able to say, hey, that's not us doing that?
It's a hindrance because we just can't seem to get the word out there enough.
All right.
And, you have this constitutional sheriff movement. I was entertaining myself last night by reading through almost the 1,000 plus comments on my Facebook post yesterday, directing people to call ICE. And there was a lot of this, well, you're not a constitutional sheriff thing. Look, the Constitution does not directly address immigration or the restrictions thereof. It just says we accept people from other countries, and that's the basis of the United States. So if people want adjustments to the Constitution, if they want Congress or Senate to put up a bill and vote on it to change things, that's on them. Contact your legislators. Don't harass law enforcement who's just out there trying to do their job.
Would you say that you would have a lot of like undocumented violent criminals in the Kane County Jail if there was going to be some cooperation between ICE and local law enforcement, that it would make a major difference in trying to get some of the violent criminals out of our country?
So I would only have to make a conjecture there because we can't even ask people under the Trust Act what their documentation status is. And we can see it on their criminal history, if they have a criminal history, if they are undocumented, but again, we can't then communicate with ICE. So we would only want those people that are held with us for very serious crimes to be picked up by ICE once they're done in our facility. But the other thing that we don't want is somebody getting scooped up for a DUI or a suspended driver's license and then, getting deported because we turned them over. So it's a really careful balance, if that makes any sense to you. We'd like to be able to communicate with ICE when it comes to the most serious offenders in our facility, for sure.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, Sheriff. I know you got to go, but thank you for taking a few minutes to join me this morning. You got any final words or a statement to let the public know about this whole situation from Kane County?
Yeah, and I know it's clear as mud. It's clear as mud to a lot of us in all the statements that I made. But at the end of the day, if you're concerned about ICE activity, contact ICE. I have the phone number for them pinned up on our Kane County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. Just know that if you see a Kane County Sheriff's Office car, that we are not participating in any ICE activities simply because it would be illegal for us to do so.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate you, Ron Hain. Thanks for joining me here today, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you, Mark.
Take care. All right, Kane County Sheriff Ron Hain joining us here on the show. The Kane County, the ICE phone number, by the way, is 888-351-4024. That's the number that he posted on the Kane County Sheriff's Department Facebook page. 888-351-4024. And I love the way he started the short post, Elliot. To reiterate continuously. To reiterate continuously.
I do not. I tell you, it is so. It's hard enough being law enforcement. It's hard enough these days. But yeah, to have your life complicated with this kind of stuff. I have tremendous respect for our law enforcement and everything they do. Want them to be safe. Want them to get home every night. And it's just unfortunate.